All right, Tyler, you ready?
Yep.
Three, two, one.
Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. We are part of the Pod Hub Network. I'm Tyler, and with me as always is Smitty. Today we are joined by Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman Derwin Gray. Derwin, what's going on, man?
What's good, man. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
We appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, pleasure's all on this end. All right, so let's jump right into it. This is always the first question anytime we have a guy come on here that's been drafted, whether it be the NFL, MLB, NHL, whatever it might be. What was the draft process like for you?
Last year the draft process was pretty crazy for me. So, cause like I was hearing a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying, what round you want to go? You know what I mean? You have family that wants you to go certain rounds. Then you have your personal. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of crazy, man. It was rocky because like up and down every day you kind of heard something different. But I mean, I just remained like calm and just understood that, man, I'm the best to be drafted at any position to draft. So it was definitely a fun process. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. It was exciting, you know what I mean, to go through interviews with teams and just go through the whole process of you being scouted by all these teams and growing up as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You always wanted to be in the big league. So I mean, I thought it was just a blessing to just be in a situation of being a person that possibly his name called, which came true for me.
Right. Had you had conversations with the Steelers before they drafted you?
The Steelers had called me so I left. Our season's over at Maryland was like the end of that year around November. We ain't make it to a bowl game, so I went off the train like December. Steelers had called me like that January of early last year, so like January like 20th or something like that. Around that time, Steelers had called me, but ever since then, I had one call, and after that was over with. I never talked to him again. I ain't meet with him at the combine or nothing. So it was kind of crazy how that happened.
Yeah. Did you have any other teams that you thought might draft you because they had talked to you more?
I thought it was gonna be Minnesota, and I thought it was gonna be San Francisco, Seahawks. Could have been those like three teams that felt like that definitely could have been my squad. Like, you know what I mean? So, but hey, Pittsburgh called me. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying, always to be repping that black and gold, man. Because I'm close to DC, I'm kind of still home. So, like, man, I love it. Happy I worked out the way it did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. You said you're from the DC area. So, who were you a fan of growing up?
When I grew up, I was a big Deuce McAllister and Aaron Brooks fan. So I was a big New Orleans Saints fan. So I liked just the atmosphere down in the Superdome when they get in. As an offensive lineman as a kid, you love when a team rides their offensive line. Like, offensive line is like their team. You know what I mean? And I looked at the Saints as a team that ride on the offensive linemen and things like that, especially when they got within the 5 or 10 yard mark, when they getting kind of tight in the red zone and they looking for that one little push to get in the end zone. And they played the little chant, when the Saints come marching, and then Deuce McAllister run on the field and they punch it in. The whole line just a rep on top of it. It was just crazy, man. And I was like, man, I want to play a team like that. And luckily I came here with the Steelers, man. You already know our offensive line, how talented we are up front. So it's crazy.
So what did you like before you got drafted by the Steelers? So, growing up being a Saints fan, everything like that from DC area though, like what did you know about the Steelers before you got drafted by them?
I mean, I ain't really know too much about Pittsburgh because I really didn't follow Pittsburgh. I mean, growing up, I grew up in a kind of a mixture of a Cowboys and Redskins type of home. You know what I mean? That's pretty much everybody's favorite team in the world between Redskins, Cowboys type of thing. So I really didn't know too much about Pittsburgh. I just knew about the players because I was a fan of football. So I just knew about Jerome Bettis, you know what I'm saying? I knew about Big Ben, you know what I'm saying? I knew about Cordell Stewart, you know what I mean? So it was just guys you knew about because of their talents. I mean, Hines Ward and all those guys. So
right.
I didn't know too much about the team and how they was winning. I just liked those players.
Right. Yeah, and you mentioned, being a fan of the Saints, like, how they were built through the offensive line, similar to how the Steelers were. We just saw a longtime guard, Ramon Foster, retire this past offseason. Right. So, as a young guy coming in last year through the draft, what was a guy like Ramon Foster to you? Was he a mentor to the younger guys? Because I feel like we hear that a lot.
Well, for me, Ramon Foster was like my big brother. I mean, he connected with a lot of guys on the team and a lot of young guys, but for some reason, for me and Ramon, we kind of gelled so close together as the year went on, he's seen my progress of how well I was playing and things like that through all practices and stuff like that. So Ramon really just took me in the wing and really showed me everything about how to want to be a man and how to play this game and play, you know what I'm saying, and keep it as a business. You know what I mean? Get your emotions out of the game. Meaning that if you're not playing right now, like that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? For him being a guy that's undrafted, he had to fight for, you know what I mean, everything. You know what I mean? Every year they try to replace him. That's what he told me. Every year they put somebody in here to replace me. And every day I approach it as like a job or as a business. I mean, I know they like me, but I have to win this job because they bring this guy in to replace me. So and they was just like, man, right now, like things gonna work out for itself. You always try to tell me just you know what I'm saying, just get your body right. You coming to me, you battled all camp and all those things, stay around because your knee, dealing with your knee issue that you had before in college that kind of lingered to the league a little bit. So it was like, man, just use this time while whatever your P squad or the case may be, just to get your body right, man. And I continued to, you know what I'm saying, I took his info all year and continued to get better and better and better. And then one day I just asked him, man, and then, I was like, man, how long you plan on playing in the league for? And he seemed to be like, he had told me, like, young Derwin, he's like, man, I'm sure I can't answer that question. He was saying that he was just blessed to play 8 years. That was his goal, was to play 8 years. Anything after that was a bonus, you know what I mean? And I guess he right then and there, that could have been the reason why he retired or nothing. Like he just knew that his time was up. I don't know what it could have been. But I knew right then and there when he retired and I talked to him, he was excited for me because now he was excited to see my growth and him be able to sit back and watch me play because he felt like he coached me up as best as he could to go out there and fight, you know what I mean? And I feel like he's done a great job and I'm way better than I ever was before I got here. So I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to take off and do what I was exactly drafted to come do, you know what I mean? Play a long pounce and get his number 7, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, Tyler, I mean, that kind of ties in. You mentioned, a couple minutes ago as you started to talk about Ramon, the knee injury that you came into the league with, and Tyler actually put a question in our notes about that. Do you feel like that impacted your year last year? Because I feel like there was an article I was reading online when I was like preparing the questions to ask you for this, and I saw an article where you had a quote in there about like you kind of needed the red shirt year. So kind of talk about what like last year was like for you being just part of the practice squad.
I mean, for me, it was disappointing that I couldn't play as much as I wanted to. You know what I mean? And me coming out of college with that knee injury was kind of like it was something that was lingering. You know what I mean? And I had to continue to rehab and continue to get right. As much as my mind was ready to play, my body wasn't ready to play. You know what I mean? And it would have been crazy for me to go force it out there, even if it was to force something like that and mess it up even worse. You know what I mean? And Tomlin knew that, and neither of the strength coaches knew that. And they had a plan for me that I couldn't see at the time. You know what I mean? So I continue just to trust in the process that things will work out in my favor, and which it's done so far. You know what I mean? So I just use that as motivation. You know what I mean? Like football's a tough sport. You know what I mean? You're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get banged up, and I'm not a person that's gonna sit around and allow that injury to linger around forever to the point that prohibit me from doing anything. So did it bother me last year a little bit to the point that I needed that? Yeah, definitely needed it. And I feel like my body's way stronger and way more a professional body than it was last year.
So were you playing through that at Maryland?
So my last year at Maryland, I actually was hurt. I just came back from that knee scope. I actually had 2 knee surgeries on that one knee. And then when I got it fixed, it wasn't quite ready to go yet that beginning of the year against Texas. It wasn't ready to go. I couldn't do anything. So by the third game, I set out for 3 games. Well, 3 games. 2 games. I didn't play the first one. I played the second one because we was playing against Bowling Green, which is a little school just to test to see if I'm ready to play, which I played well. But after the fact, my knee blew up real bad. And it was like starting to affect my other leg because I was kind of overcompensating one leg. So with that being said, so I had to rest again the next game. So it kind of like lingered that whole year. So I didn't really, when people pulled my film up and saying, Derwin doesn't look like the same player from his junior year where he was going to be a top round pick. This year it looks like he's still getting the job done, but he wasn't playing as fast or as quick as urgent as he was. But I was kind of hurt, you know what I mean? But during that time, you don't have time to complain about that. You got to get the job done. And that's what I did. When I got through the combine process and all that, even when I got to Pittsburgh, it was like, I have to get the job done to get here, to stay here, you know what I mean? And then when it's over with, then then people evaluate what's wrong. And then they knew right then my knee was bothered. They wanted to see if I fight, and which I proved. And that's why I'm still here.
Yeah, did that affect your combine preparation and your scouting as well?
It definitely did. A lot of teams looked at my knee surgery as because it was so bad, kind of like, you know what I mean? It was kind of bad surgery that it was a 50-50 chance you could play again. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with that as far as the flexibility of that knee. And a lot of teams didn't really want to take the chance because they was kind of nervous if, like, you know what I'm saying, you get drafted high and go out there and an injury comes and you can't play no more. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all totally understand as a business, you got to build your team as best you can to win the Super Bowl. But I tell you, his motivation is whoever team gets me, they're going to get a steal. And I feel like the Steelers got a steal with me, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, this year they definitely see why I was a steal, which Tomlin already seen all through the year of me getting better. And he's seen what type of player I am, and he knows it. That's why I'm still here.
Right. It seems I have a question on here about just Maryland, because it seems like Tomlin and Colbert, I don't know which one of the two have that. I mean, obviously with Dino being at Maryland, they love their Maryland guys, and even bringing on Matt Canada to the coaching staff now as a quarterback coach. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Playing under him and seeing, how many Maryland guys are on the roster now. Do you think that he's actually going to have more of an influence in the offense than just being the quarterback coach?
Of course, because Canada, he's been how would I say this? So he's been like an offensive coordinator guru when it comes to certain offensive runs. And we ran a kind of a tricky kind of offense at Maryland when he came there. Which he ran at LSU, which he ran at Pitt, which he was at Pitt before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're very familiar.
Things that a lot of that motion and a lot of play jet sweeps going this way, the run is going the other way. He brings a little different dynamic to the offense that could help in the league. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have a speedy league with these defensive ends that can move left and right really fast. You know what I mean? So with all this stuff that he brings, I think he's going to have a little more impact than just, you know what I'm saying, coaching Ben. Because one, you're coaching a Hall of Famer. There ain't too much coaching you can do with Ben. I'm just being honest. Like, so at this point, how could he contribute more to make this team even better? Giving Coach Randy a little bit more insight on his offense and where he look at certain things he did in the offense previous year to come together and make a dynamic offense in this, which I think we're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, even if you want to look at the quarterbacks, he's the quarterback's coach, but like you just mentioned, I mean, Ben, he's been around for a long time. He knows what he's doing. If anything, he's here to help the guys behind Ben on the depth chart maybe take the next step, to be more prepared to step in. Because you look at those guys, they didn't have a quarterback's coach yet. This could be the first time they have a quarterback coach.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm excited to see Coach Canada as much as he's excited to see me do my thing and stuff like that. He's been excited to see me all year since he first came in. We actually got to see each other again like a month ago or something like that, right before this big Corona stuff happened. So we actually had to see each other again, man. So like I said, he's excited to see what I did in Maryland, to put it back on the show. Actually being back to myself again, going out there flying around and having fun with the game. So as much as I'm excited to see him come in and make this offense go where it needs to go. So
yeah. You sound super excited for year two. So what are your expectations personally going into year two?
My expectation is just to come in and just be a guy that contributes, man. Like a guy that can come in and just work his tail off and just literally just go out there every day with his hard hat on and not looking for no accolades, not looking for no respect, none of that. Just want to go out there and help the team win. Like that's all I really care about, because that's what I wanted to do since year one. You know what I mean? Just come out and help these guys win. Like, so it's just eating me up last year sometimes, just seeing like something go wrong. I'd be like, I wish I could just help with that. You know what I mean? Like, especially as a competitor, you want to be out there and help your guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited now to be in that position to go help my guys and lay it on the line for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's fun. Like our group of friends is very sarcastic with each other, but we're live streaming this show, so it's on YouTube. And the guy that's gonna be editing our YouTube video just came in here and said, "I'm not kidding when I say this. Dee seems like a wealth of knowledge."
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate that, man. It comes from a lot of, I would say a lot of older guys being in my ear, and a lot of older guys just instilling, just knowing the game of football and knowing how to carry yourself in the game and knowing the professionalism behind it. So, like, it ain't happened overnight. It's just been a lot of guys. Like I said, Ramon Foster being a guy that coached me up and keep me level-headed, understand that, you're not playing now, but it's going to come, you know what I mean? And look, he could have retired just for that simple fact. Who knows? I don't know. But the point is, like, things are going to work out. Just be patient and continue to encourage other people and, get better and help other people get better. And that's my motto. Just if I can do anything to help another team, help my team get better, that's what I'm going to do. So, and I feel like last year by practice squad, whatever people want to call it, I feel like I helped the guys get ready, the D-line get ready to go out there, competing in one-on-ones, competing out there in team drills and things like that, giving those guys a look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that was my role, and I fulfilled my role, and I feel like I continue to work hard, and there's going to be another guy that's probably gonna be in the same position me years to come when I'm still in the league, that he's gonna be that same guy. I'm probably gonna be mentoring, saying the same thing too. Just to be a guy that do what's asked of you, and that's all I want to do.
Right. So, I mean, you talked about being reliable, being ready when called upon. Do you feel like, I know that you moved around a little bit on the line. Is that something that you think is going to even happen more in year two? Like you can play any position?
Potentially, yeah. Because like Tomlin told me that, and my offensive line coach told me, it was just like, I'm a guy that has a athletic ability that can be moved anywhere. So I'm pretty much not like a one-trick pony. I mean, I can do a lot of different things. And now I'm learning how to snap. You know what I'm saying? That's new for me. I've never done that before. But now it's new for me. But now it's just putting my mind to that you're an athlete. Like, man, that's how I've always been all through high school, college. You're an athlete. I don't look at myself as a line. I look at as a, you know what I'm saying, a big man athlete that can do a lot of different things, can kick the ball, everything. So my thing is that if I moved to tackle, it wouldn't feel unnatural for me because I played tackle naturally. God was something that I had to get better at, and then I got better at that as the year went on. Around like week 10 to the end of the season, it was like second nature now. So now it's just like I know for a fact that most likely at some point this season I'll be a tackle or be a guard. I don't know, but I know I'll be moved around. I won't be at one spot all year because I mean you only traveling with a certain amount of alignment. So you got to be useful in all those positions. If not, you'll be at home somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. Along those lines of, go ahead, Smith.
No, I was just saying, I in there you said about snapping. Is that something that you just are recently learning how to do? Like this?
Yeah.
Offseason?
This offseason, my coach just told me, hey, learn how to snap. First thing is that naturally that never done it before, you're gonna be like, oh, like I've never done that before. I don't want to do it. But then you got to think about it. Like, reason he's asking me to learn how to snap is because he believes that you're an athlete that can do it all. So just go out there and give it a couple tries and see how good it is. You know what I'm saying? See how good you can get with it. I mean, I'm not expecting you to be pouncy at center because you've never played it before. But I'm expecting you just to you know what I'm saying, go out there and just give it a shot a little bit. So, but do I think he ever gonna put me at center? Never. I think that he just think that I'm a good enough athlete to better not do it all.
Our YouTube editor just said he's buying your jersey. he said, can you ask him what number he is so I could buy his jersey? And then he responded right away and said, never mind, found it.
So I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love. And that's another thing, man. Like the Pittsburgh fans here is just ridiculously crazy, man. I love everything about it, like because these guys, they the fans that go crazy over this. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, once again, being a competitor that, for instance, like the Cleveland Browns situation, couldn't go out there and help Mason Rudolph in that situation. Like it ate me alive to see my quarterback go through that. You know what I mean? Go through that trauma of being hit in the head. Not to reflect on old things, but it's just me being a team guy and a team first guy. That stuff like eats at me. You know what I mean? Because I want our team to be the dominant team that everybody walk around like we don't want to mess with those guys. And so it's just like I just love being a part of this team. So especially with the way we work and we work hard, we know how much time we went into it. So regardless of how our season go, like I feel like in our mind, we definitely the best team in the league.
All right. So if you had, whether it be, a friend get drafted to the team or you have a free agent, you're trying to say, hey, let's link up in Pittsburgh, come play for Pittsburgh. How would you try to sell that person on Pittsburgh, both the team and you were just talking about the city as well?
I mean, first of all, I'm going to let them know that there's no better city to come in and play in the Heinz Field on Monday nights or Sunday night game, prime time, under the lights over there by that water. Like, it's just a different atmosphere. The fans are crazy. They're amazing when we get off that, when we first park our car outside that stadium. The fans go crazy, man. It's just me being a young guy and me coming to a situation like that, it was just like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this. And to see how fans, whether you play or don't play, they still give you the same amount of respect and love, regardless of what. And for me, being a guy that didn't play, like I said, those guys, people treated me well. You know what I'm saying? One I was drafted, so you get a little more like a little shine because you should draft it. But people respected me like it was like I was out there. You know what I mean? And I think that's different because a lot of fans don't do that. If you ain't the star player, you don't get no love. Like it's only the quarterbacks and the people that touch the ball get some love. So for linemen getting love and all the people around the whole team getting love, people that don't play, it's crazy. I mean, it's just die hard still a fan, whether you contribute or not. So I just think that's real respect. And I also think that as a guy, recruiting a guy to come here, like it's a family. Like, you know what I mean? Coach Tomlin from Tomlin and Colbert, like those guys are in the locker room with us. They're not just one of those guys that sits upstairs and, you know what I mean, and just call the shots and tell you go do stuff. Like they tell you why. And they come down there after we get our work in. They fool around with us a little bit, crack jokes. Whether in the cold tub, they crack jokes. They come past, play pool. Kevin swear he's the best pool player in the world. Like they're just facts. And then you got TJ Watt. He wants to play everybody in these little games, like a little type of little game TJ like to play. It's like a little soccer game. You hit a button and it kicks the ball around, and then you got to go through these little knobs or some type of thing. So it's literally like him. He thinking he's the best. So literally every coach want to play against him. I mean, like it's just like a family in there. Like it's nothing like nobody going crazy, worried about want to be like a one-person team. Like, nah, like, everybody love each other. And so I just think the person that wants to play with Pittsburgh wants to be part of a family that like does everything together outside of football when they're not on the clock. You know what I mean? This is the best team to be at. I mean, I ain't been around other teams, but I do have homeboys that say, man, certain teams don't do what you telling me y'all do. And that's just it. So, but is it going to be hard work? Is it going to be like, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be a grind? Yes, it's going to be a grind. Some days going to be tougher than others. Some days you're going to be like, man, this team I don't feel like they love me today, but that's just because it's a job. Like every day not gonna be easy. Like you got to work for it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think it's the best team in the world right here.
Yeah, we may seem biased, but we always talk about how we think Pittsburgh fans just love their sports teams and their sports athletes a little bit more than any other city.
Right, and I think that's totally true. Like y'all go crazy for us. Once again, I always go crazy for me. I mean, I only been for 1 year and it's been crazy. My first year was crazy, and it was like, man, like, bitch, when I'm actually a vet, like, it's gonna be even crazier by that time because it's like Pittsburgh, but that just get crazier and crazier, win, lose, or draw. So, my thing is to the fan. My one thing to the fans is, man, win, lose, or draw, just continue to be loyal, and man, we're gonna get it fixed at some point. We're gonna get it fixed sooner than later. So, it's gonna be fixed real soon.
Talk about how tight-knit the group is, and especially on that defensive side of the football, which we saw take a huge leap last year. What was it like, seeing that unit in person, being part of the practice squad, obviously, but just seeing that defensive unit day in and day out?
I think that unit right there, Cam is doing a really good job. Cam and Tua is doing a really good job of keeping that team, keeping the D-line really sharp and sound, and continue to keep those guys motivated to run after the ball, to go hard, get better today, clock in. So I know from Fridays, Cam be having the D linemen to wear collar shirts underneath their jersey. And for whatever reason, I was like, well, why do he do that? Like, I know it's got to be uncomfortable, that collar on their neck, but it's a way of showing that, yes, it's Friday, but it's still work to be done. We're still putting our polo on and going to work today. So that was something I thought that was unique. I never seen it done before. I thought that was like one of the best things that, in my eyes, I've seen that shows hard work or whatever the case may be to without having to say that we work hard. I thought that was just unique. So I think that, like I said, he does a great job, man. Me being a guy that was going against him every day, that's how my game just turned from, you know what I'm saying? Not saying I was trash or anything like that. I ain't saying that I was the worst player in the world, but it turned my game from being to the bottom to right where it needs to be to go compete and help the team win. And I said, those guys, as long as those guys go hard every day and they continue to get me better. And then to the point now, I'm getting so better that now these people like, man, D. Gray showing us what Tom would say, man. And some of those older guys look at you like, man, this guy got some power behind him, man. Like, I don't want to go against him today. Because they knew, man, it was just getting me better and getting me to go even harder every day. And it was starting to be muscle memory now. Now every day I knew just to go out there and compete hard and hard and hard. I mean, so, yeah.
All right, so what's been the daily routine for you to like stay in shape and just keep working during this quarantine thing?
Every day, man. My thing is, man, my biggest thing is drinking a lot of water. Drink a lot of water, try to keep my system as clean as possible, and then I go out there and then I try to run the pool. During the week, I run the pool a lot because once again, my coaches like my offensive line coach, but my strength coach continue to he knows the knee problem. He try to get me because I sometimes could overwhelm myself, my body, not myself, but my body a lot because I like to go, and then my knee will swell up. So not saying my knee's bad, it's not bad now, but just going sometimes, even though it might not be hurting, is eventually like you wearing a tear on that spot. Sometimes, so he's basically informed me to get in the water 3 times a week, run the water, run it because now it takes a little bit of banging off your knee, but you're getting more cardio in, and then get on the grass about 2 days in a row, like 2 days. So however you want to divide it up and make sure it's more water than it's grass. And as it get closer and closer to time to go get on the field, then we transition to just more grass than water. So we're saying right now, while it's going through this period of don't know when we'll come back, no need to go out there and bang your knee crazy and then be sore or super hurt when it's time to go training camp. It's pointless. So I just every day just follow by what he tells me, and then he's done a great job with me all year of getting my body right, man. For him to be in this business so long, and him being an older guy, like he knows what he's talking about, and we have probably the best strength coach in the country. This guy knows what he's done. Like he's helped Ben with his situations before. He's helped a lot of players with their situations. And I'm just being a young guy just buying in. I'm going into a blind. I don't know him like that. I just got here 1 year. I'm just giving him my heart to do whatever you feel like you need to be done to me to get me right. And he's doing a good job so far. So I just, like I said, I just stay in the water and I lift and I run. That's pretty much it. And I drink a lot of water, just continue to keep my body in shape. So.
You see a lot of guys like linking up with teammates to do workouts or anything. Have you been in contact with any of the other Steelers at this point or no?
Oh, yeah. So me and Chooks Okafor, Zach Banner, we always talk all the time and we always do everything. So when in Pittsburgh, I may see Chooks and things like that. We may go out, whatever the case may be, who knows. So Chooks is my guy. So me and Pounce talk a lot, so we're cool.
Gotcha. Okay. In 2019, I mean, the Steelers found a way to still remain pretty competitive despite losing Ben in week 2. So what was Ben's impact on the team even after the injury happened?
So losing Ben definitely hurt us as a team because Ben, you cannot bring that leadership or that presence Ben brings to a team because Ben frightens a lot of teams with his knowledge of the game and how fast he reacts and stuff. So he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He scares defense. But with him being missing, it definitely, I wouldn't say it hurt the team, but it definitely, you know what I'm saying, it changed the dynamic of our offense because now we one less stronger man than we was, you know what I mean? So now I think that with him being back, it's definitely going to help us a lot this season because last season we definitely missed that leadership of his part, not being out there. Yes, he's on the sideline with us and you know what I'm saying? He encouraged Duck, he encouraged Mason, he encouraged everybody on the sideline to be great, but it's not like the same of him being in that huddle with you. And he's confident and he knows that this play is going to work because he's been doing this for, I don't even know, since I was in middle school or elementary school. I forgot how long he's been playing.
Yeah, you're the same age as us, so yeah.
So he's been doing this since I was in elementary school. So it's just like a guy that says it's going to work, it's going to work. So all I know is like if I'm in that situation, just go block. It's gonna be a touchdown. I mean, he's like the godfather of this. So, like I said, we were just missing that confidence from his part, the quarterback spot for him and things like that. But I think, man, with him being back and it's gonna be a great season for us. And Duck did an awesome job last year. Like I loved every part of Duck's performances. Mason Rudolph too. Like those guys are my guys. So, like I said, once again, my QBs like got a different feel for them guys. Like. You can't touch my quarterback. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's ironic you bring up Ben's leadership because you see so many people in media try to question it, but every single player that we've talked to that has played with Ben says, like, comments on how much of a great leader he is.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a great leader, man. I mean, Ben, it's crazy that when I got drafted, my locker's right beside Ben's. So it's Ben, me, and then it's Pouncey right beside me. So I'm between two Hall of Famers. I mean, like, Pounce will be a Hall of Famer as well, like all decade center, and I'm saying you have Ben right to the right of me. So it's like every day you're around two people that leads his team every day. Like Pounce is a great leader, vocal leader of, you know what I'm saying, brings his energy and passion every day of the game, how much he loves his game. You don't got to tell it, but you can just see it in Pounce's face every time. Every day he works, how he punches bags. Like every day he comes with a demeanor about him that it makes you want to get fired up and go fight with him. So, Ben, of course, he comes in with the confidence of like, yeah, it didn't work this time, but it will work. It's going to work. Just stay patient. Come on, it's coming. You know what I mean? And he makes you know what I'm saying, if you're getting like riled up if things not working, you losing, like he gives that confidence of like, it's okay. I threw an interception. It's okay. We're going to win the game. You know what I mean? Like things happen. So like, I think this year is going to be exciting. I can't be in the huddle with him. I can't wait to get in the huddle and just feel the confidence out of when it's like really on the line. Like I can't wait to one of those games.
All right. Hearing you talk about it makes us more excited.
Yeah.
No, the last thing I have, we already talked about your expectations for yourself. What are you expecting from the team in 2020?
I'm expecting us to continue where we picked up, our defense to continue where they picked up, where they left off at last year, and the offense, we need to just pick it up a little bit more and continue to work harder. And I think that we're going to do that. We're working hard. I mean, our whole team is working right now. Like we're working. We've been doing our little meetings and things like that on Zoom. Everybody's fully committed, and I think this team is just a great team that is like we're a team. We don't have to get too much rowdy or have to be flashy to be saying that we're working. So I think that this team is going to come out and we're going to have a good year this year. And I know for a fact we're going to have a good year this year. because now we have a lot of parts coming back. We added some new parts and stuff like that. So I think we just got to continue to go out there and execute our plan. Our plan, 1, stay healthy. 2, take care of each other in practice. And 3, just lay it on the line for each other, and we're going to come out on top.
You mentioned night games at Heinz Field. Smitty and I are lined up to go to the Thanksgiving night game. So
as long as fans can be there.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that one.
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one right there.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're wearing Color Rush. The atmosphere will be great.
Oh, all right. Hey, we put the Color Rush on. Y'all got to come out there right then. That'll get crazy then. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tyler, if you don't have anything else, D, we appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for the time. It was a great interview. I mean, I think it was well worth the wait. I know, like we said, you don't have to apologize. We understand things happen, but regardless, it was well worth the wait anyways. It was a great time talking to you. Other than that, we look forward to a healthy 2020. Keep things rolling, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Our YouTube editor also texted us and told us how good of a conversation it was.
Yeah, it was well worth the wait.
He just said, "This guy is awesome."
Yeah, I'm very happy about that one. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. You know, it's awesome when you can say, like, just ask a question. He just goes, you know, for like 2.5 minutes, he can just talk. So we've had conversations like that in the past, you know, guys. We talked about our Jared Oliva when he's on here. I mean, I don't even know if we'd have to say anything. He might just be able to do the podcast by himself.
He's basically like another host when he comes on here.
Right.
At this point. But yeah, it was fun.
Okay. I don't know if I don't remember if I stated this on Twitter, but everybody knows if you follow us on Twitter, we are recording again on Thursday. So this episode / recording / live stream, whatever you want to call it, was strictly to do this interview with Derwin Gray. So everything else we are going to cover on Thursday's episode, where we're also going to have another interview with former Penguins defenseman Darius Kasparaitis. So this was more so just, you know, to have a great conversation with Derwin, which it turned out to be. Very happy about it. And everybody that's listening back, if you weren't watching this live on YouTube, head over to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you're watching on YouTube but not subscribed yet, or the notification bell, make sure you do those 2 things. Got to tell you guys about Horse Nickel shirts. Depending if you're watching this live, you still have time. If you're listening back, you might not. There's about 24 hours left to get your shirt orders in. We talk about them all the time on here. Unfortunately, obviously, with the COVID and everything like that, they weren't able to do the annual wing bash that we typically attend. However, as of right now, the tournament at Brady's Run Park is still set to go on August 1st and 2nd. As I mentioned, at Brady's Run Fields. We can put the address out there, but if you guys follow Horse Nickel Softball on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, all the information is always put out on there as soon as it happens. We try to relay it, but obviously they are the first to put the information out, so it just makes sense to follow them anyway. And also talk about our sponsor, Kate's Barbershop. Huge fan of Darius Kasparaitis. It's an old-fashioned barbershop located at 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. He is open 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. Every Tuesday, he does $5 off for military personnel, first responders, and nurses. He's back open for business, so make your appointments. You can download an app called The Cut and make an appointment right on there with him. You know, like I said, other than that, that's all we're going to be doing this episode. So we'll see you guys again on Thursday. And until then, bye-bye.